Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse, the new 52 Batwing. I've been waiting for this guy for a long time. This is the first Luke Fox Batwing in the McFarlane DC Multiverse line. They made Batwing before, but that was David, the Batwing of Africa from Batman Incorporated. He was only Batwing for like 7 issues, and then Luke Fox took over. This is the one that I wanted the whole time, and he's finally here. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Batwing 2.0. Here he is in the package. Looks like we have a display stand, collector's card, and then some flame exhaust for his rocket pack. One side of the package, Batwing 2.0 from the new 52. Other side, Batwing 2.0. At the back, here he is, posed up from the comics. And at the bottom, there's his barcode if it helps. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we have this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. We have a display stand, a collector's card, some flame for the back of his rocket pack, and the wings are removable. Before we load all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Batwing, and this is the Luke Fox version. This is the version that I wanted from the beginning. The first Batwing that McFarlane made was not Luke Fox, that was David Zavimbe, and he was the Batman of Africa from Batman Incorporated. After about 10 issues, he retired, and then Luke Fox took over. I feel like most people think the first Batwing was also Luke Fox, which is one that most people are familiar with. But it's a way more obscure cut into the Batman family, and I'm really happy to have both of them. He didn't die, he just sort of stepped down and Luke Fox took over. And eventually, Luke Fox went to America and joined the Bat family in Gotham. He's Lucius Fox's son. That's probably how he was exposed to the Bat family and Batman and all that stuff. It's on the same body as the previous Batwing, but this one is done in all black colors, and he looks really sleek. Very pleased. So far, so good. So let's take a closer look. Starting with his head here, he has a sort of armored look. Bat cowl. It's like a helmet. He's got wide eyes. I like how the ears kind of go back. He's got his bat symbol on his chest, and it would be really cool if that lit up or glowed in the dark. Armor on his shoulders. Double jointed elbows. Double jointed knees. Pretty cool armored look, and he's got pouches on the belt. He has these wings, which have articulation. They can go up pretty high, kind of medium, and then down at the sides. You can see the exhaust thing, the flame will attach here, and the wing set comes off very easily. So I like having the different options, and I like adding this guy to the Bat family. He was probably the last sort of major member of the Bat family that we needed from the modern comics. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt, he has that sort of armored helmet looking mask, and it's simple, but I think it looks really damn good. Very pleased with how this figure turned out. And then, here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand, typical McFarlane display stand, and now they're adding the classic DC logo. Here's his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Batwing. I'm not sure who that guy is behind him. Batwing 2.0 from the new 52. And in the back, there's a description. If you want to read that, pause now. And now for the wings and the flame exhaust piece, which go hand in hand. It's more or less like a jetpack. We have these metallic Batman-shaped wings. It's going to plug into his back here. It's pretty simple, small, and basic. I like that the wings are articulated. And you can take this and plug it into the little hole there, and bam, like he's flying or gliding. Here's Batwing without the wings. And I think it's pretty cool to have the different options, because I imagine in the comics the wings sort of fold up and disappear into his suit. And then here he is with the wings attached. You can have the wings down, you can have the wings kind of go to the side, and you can even pull them a little bit higher up if you'd like. Here's the exhaust piece or the flame put into the back there. And it's a little bit crooked, you just straighten it out pretty easily. It's probably the best way to do it right there. And if you have him in a flight pose, his head looks up pretty nicely. So does his torso. And that actually works pretty well. He can look forward while he's in flight. Now if you turn it the other way, it's kind of going down into him, so you probably don't want to do that. This is the most logical way to have the flame. Now I want to check out the reuse differences and similarities between the Luke Fox Batwing figure and the David version. And they do share the same base body, so let's take a closer look. Obviously their heads are totally different. The top part of the torso is different. The Batman symbol is sculpted, and this one's a lot smoother and cleaner. The stomach's the same. The arms, the shoulder pads, down to the hands are the same. The diaper and the legs are the same. And I don't mind the reuse. I think they both came out fantastic. I think this guy came out even better. You can see they both have a similar way to plug in the wings. And this is now the third McFarlane figure to utilize this base body. And I got 7 of these Manhunter figures for army building purposes. So in my collection, Batwing is now the 9th figure to utilize this base body. Now they've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories. Let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 7.2 inches tall, which can translate to just over 18 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the ears, about 7.4 inches tall. And for his articulation, I don't have the wings attached right now, but as I showed earlier, those have articulation. And then his head, he can rotate side to side. He can look up a pretty good amount, down a pretty good amount as well. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint goes up about 90 degrees. The shoulder pads are very well done. They go over his shoulders and don't obstruct the articulation. Very nice. Up, down, around. He's got this butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest. Increase the range of motion and covering the gap that would be there. Bicep cut. Double jointed elbows. His wrists can rotate and it's hinged as well. Ball joint in his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another one in his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, very good range of motion in the torso area. Legs, complete as the splits, McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is decent. They go forward about that far, back not much. Double jointed elbows, and his ankle, forward and back. There is rotation, and tilt rock, and of course, toe articulation. Here's a look at Luke Fox on a rooftop of Gotham, about to jump off and fly around the city. And then afterwards, here he is flying around the city, supporting Batman. And here's a look at the previous Batwing, David Zavimbi. I would say he's flying around the skies of Gotham City, but this is flying around the skies of the Democratic Republic of Congo. That is the area that he was assigned to protect. Now let's check him out. Next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Batwing and Lucius Fox family members. Here's the Luke Fox Batwing on the left. Next to the David Zavimbe Batwing on the right. David was Batwing for about 10 issues, and Luke Fox has been Batwing for hundreds of issues. And here he is, next to the Mattel DC Multiverse Luke Fox Batwing. This is a very nice figure, and up until now, this has been the only Luke Fox Batwing made by any company in the 6 or 7 inch scale. Here's the McFarlane Batwing figure, next to a couple of McFarlane Lucius Fox figures. Lucius Fox is Luke Fox's father, and they're both big into technology. Caught the attention of Batman, and he invited him to join the Batman family. And here are all of my Lucius Fox figures. On the far left, it's the oldest one that I have. It's a custom made from Clark Kent. Then, of course, the McFarlane Batman Begins version. And then we have Samuel Jackson's character from Jurassic Park, which is a nice fill-in for Lucius Fox. He's in his lab coat. And then next we have a wrestling figure. He kind of reminds me of Lucius Fox from Arkham Knight. And on the far right, the black tux version of McFarlane's Lucius Fox. And here's Luke Fox, next to Tim Fox, or Jace Fox. Tim Fox is Lucius Fox's other son, and in a potential what-if future story called Future State, he was the canon Batman for a little while. And then here's Lucius Fox with his boys, Luke and Tim Fox. And then here's Batwing, next to the Batwing. Here's a look at the entire modern Rebirth Bat family. It has taken McFarlane this long, but they finally covered all the main and sort of secondary members that operate in Gotham City. Now, some of these versions aren't quite the right versions of the Rebirth. but these are, I'd say, my favorite versions of all the characters. Some of the ones that maybe don't fit in quite right would be the Cassandra Cain Batgirl. That's her from No Man's Land, although her Batgirl costume is pretty similar to that. Red Hood is from the New 52. In fact, Damian Wayne is also from the New 52. Batman is from Hush, which is before the New 52. Azrael is from Curse of the White Knight. And they don't actually make Azrael in his current costume, but it's very similar to that. And then both Batwing and Huntress are from the New 52, but their costumes are pretty similar to the Rebirth. Really happy to have these guys together. Now, what would be the next main member of the Bat family you think is missing? I mean, Black Canary and Katana are sort of like sometimes considered members of the Bat family. There are a ton of members of Batman Incorporated I would like. Wouldn't mind if they made Bluebird or Gotham Girl. The list just goes on and on and on and on and on. McFarlane has even released some of the civilian members of the Bat family: Lucius Fox, Jim Gordon, and Alfred. Those are the main heavy hitters that are Batman supporting characters. There are plenty more I would love to see, like Harold Alnut or Leslie Tompkins, but these are the most key members. And even though Lucius and Alfred are for the movies, and this Jim Gordon is younger, not the Commissioner, they're good villains for now. Here's Batwing, next to a custom Bluebird that I have. Bluebird is Harper Row. She was Bluebird before the Rebirth comics, and even though Harper Row's in the Rebirth, I don't think she's donned the costume since the Rebirth has started. But it would be really nice to add her to the Bat family as well. Then, next to a custom Gotham and Gotham Girl, these were a couple of superpowered heroes that showed up to help Batman, but turned out they were not quite what they seemed. Here's Batwing, next to my versions of Bullock and Montoya. They're two prominent reoccurring members of the police department, and these aren't customs, but they're figure substitutes from the Spawn and Gargoyles lines. Now let's check them out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the rest of his wave. We have the Troika Batman, New 52 Batwing, and the Kenner homage Azrael. Here's Batwing, next to most recent digital wave. We have Monarch, No Man's Land Batman, Disco Nightwing, and Stephanie Brown, spoiler, or Batgirl. And here he is, next to most recent Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Metron and Kite Man, then Dark Stars and Dark Archer, then, with the most recent wave of Page Punchers, Golden Age Wonder Woman and Jacketless Superboy, and now, with the James Gunn and Hush Ross exclusive Superman figures. Here's Batwing, next to some recent cover recreations. We have the Kingdom Come Superman, the infamous Stolen Killing Joke Joker, and the Dark Knight Returns Batman. And here he is, next to the Dark Knight's Metal, Merciless, and the Batman Who Laughs 2-pack. Then, with both the green and yellow rainbow Batman figures. And now, with the Nightmare Arkham City Batman, the Jokerized Dick Grayson Robin, and the Blacklight, Etrigan the Demon. And finally, next to Superman and Godzilla 2-pack. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they are typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figures, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale, and now, with some Jakks-specific resin figures and Diamond Select toys. Here's Batwing, next to some taco seasoning. And here he is, with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a fantastic Batwing figure. This is the Batwing that I wanted from the beginning. For me personally, I would have preferred them to have released this Batwing first and then the David version second. He's a more obscure character, and I'm really happy to have both of them. Hell, you could have David come back out of retirement and help Luke Fox for just one last mission. In addition to the fact that I wanted Luke Fox Batwing more, and he's been in 99% of the issues compared to the other Batwing, he completes the Batman Rebirth family, and the New 52 Batman family, and part of Batman Incorporated. Even though it's pure reuse, well, except for the torso and the head, I think it works. It works great. I don't mind at all. I like the wing accessories. His flame, it's a little on the weak side of things. But I'm very pleased with the figure. If I had to rate this guy, solid 8 out of 10, no problem. Very, very happy to have this guy. This is the first Luke Fox Batwing that McFarlane has made, and Mattel's the only other company to ever make one. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.